gonna shoot a video changing out a 1.5 Heatcraft condenser fan motor. So this is a Heatcraft Mojave unit. It uses hot gas for defrost, low temp freezer. You can see I already got the motor out. Here's the old motor. Bad bearings. It's a heavy motor, but it's got a couple little 1/4-inch screws right here that you can hang it on. So I found this is the easiest way to do it. Just line it up with those screws and let it drop. Right on your hangers. There it is. It's hung. Get you a bolt in. That's that. So this is a multi-volt motor. So it does have a plug on it. It comes factory set for high voltage, which is 460 volt. But you need to make sure, man, double check that. It is a 3-phase motor. I marked my wires when I took them off. I ain't gonna bore you with this part. I'll come back to it in a minute after I've got the blade on it and getting ready to start it up. There's no conduit on this wire. As you can see, it's got a kind of like what they call a Romex connector, what have you. Make sure you put that piece of plastic back in and you sandwich the wire in it. If not, you're gonna have a short, man. You'll be back out here. If you don't have plastic, use electrical tape or something. You just gotta have something where that metal is not touching the wire. Alright, cover's all mounted up, we're secured, we got our grommet in. Next we'll mount the blade. Alright, this motor's got a key, what we call a keyway on it. That slides in that gap right there, and that's what helps keep the motor on. Let me see if I can get you set up so y'all can watch me mount it. This one will actually go straight up against that keyway. I'll put a little bit of this leak lock on the threads because these set screws are famous for backing out. Matter of fact, one of these was pretty loose when I took it off. Just a little bit. Don't need much. This is how I was taught to do it. Tighten it, loosen it. Tighten it, loosen it. Tighten it again. See, each turn I'm getting more and more on it. Take this one back out and put a little thread lock on it. Because this is the one that was loose when I took it off. Just a little bit, you don't need much. Tighten, loose. Loosen, tighten. That ought to do it. There we go. Alright. Come back when we get it started up. Just want to point one more thing out. When you take one of these motors out of this model unit, it's going to be mounted flush with the top. Now the bearings failed on this motor. And Heatcraft is saying because they were mounting their blades too high. So they want you to mount that blade about 1/2 to 3/4 of an inch below the top of that, from the end of the shaft. I guess that helps with relieving some stress on those bearings. All that shaking around caused the leak, which we've already fixed. Just need to clean that grease up. Once I get this top lock back on, we'll start it up. It's one good thing about Heatcraft. It's just 6 bolts and the whole top comes off. You can leave the fan guard on. All right, here we go. Please don't blow up. Test our rotation. It's good. All right. Like I said, this is a Mojave hot gas defrost. You won't be able to read that screen, but right now it says serve, which means service, because I've got the remote switch open. So we'll go ahead and close that. We can hit reset time to bypass our time delays. And there we go. fans on. .5, 3.5, 3.45. So that motor's rated for 3.5 amps. We're good, 3.5. Checking for vibrations. It's running smooth. One cool thing about this Mojave, it's got suction sensor on it and a suction transducer. So I can go over here and hit the monitor button. First one to give me my valve position. Again, you're not going to be able to read it because the frame rate of the camera. Here's my superheat. So right now it's 49 and dropping. A suction temp, 33 and dropping. Suction pressure 19, saturated suction -16, liquid pressure 176. It's about 55-60 degrees. So I'll have to reset these fans up so I can stage that number 2 fan off and on. I can cycle it. You don't ever want to cycle your number 1 fan because it's sitting above the header. Cycling that fan can cause leaks on that intermediate header. You got some units where you're having a bunch of leaks on that header. It's probably because your number 1 fan's been cycling and that copper's not designed. That header is not designed for the changing pressures and temperatures. It's not designed to expand and contract. So you get some gauges hooked up because you don't ever want to trust, your transducers. You want to get your probes on here. Get my own temperature clamp on here. I'll bring you back then. So the compressor amps, 26, 25, 25. Rated for 28.8, running 19 over 226, and we're cycling that number 2 fan. Got about 30 degrees superheat at the compressor. I'm going to wrap it up. Like, subscribe, and comment, just like they say. We'll see if I even do any more of these videos. See how this comes out. Later.